Hi, and welcome to my sewing room and my weekly UFO update. My name's Leah, and I'm on week 28 of my second year of sewing at least 15 minutes a day on my UFOs. Well, this past week I sewed definitely more than 15 minutes on most of the days, and I knocked a few of my quilts off my quilt top pile. Let me show you what I got done. I started off with my Whirl-A-Jig quilt. On Wednesday, I spent about 30 minutes cutting and piecing my backing. My main fabric was a red background with some light blue and tan stars on it, perfect for some of the prints on the front. I split that in half and filled in the middle with a dark blue speckled print from my scrap shelf, along with a wider blue and white print for the center. I also put another blue strip on the other side of the white and sewed everything together and gave it a good press. Thursday, I loaded it on the frame and I quilted it. While I was quilting it, I thought it'd be a good idea to get a quilting shot somewhere in the middle, but when I got to the middle, I was in such a groove that I forgot to turn on the camera. The quilting went really fast. I did some wavy lines one way, and then I returned back, echoing the previous line. I didn't time myself, but looking back at the timestamp on some of my photos, the quilting took about an hour. I took a still shot of the quilt top on the frame right before I started at 6:59 p.m., and then I filmed the part of me squaring up the quilt at 8:04. From there, I went on to adding the binding. The binding strips had been cut out previously, but I still had to sew them together and add them to the quilt. I also added a corner piece of fabric for a label. This time I took a leftover piece of the red fabric from the back and I turned it inside out. That way when I write on it, you can still see the writing and the label won't be so bright as a white piece of fabric. I like using this method to label my quilts, as I only have to hand sew down one seam on the diagonal to keep it in place. I had the binding on by 9 p.m., so I spent about 2 hours on Thursday finishing this UFO. A quick reminder of the history of this quilt. I bought it as a kit in August of 2013. I finally cut it out in August of 2025. And I put the last stitch into it on July 9th. So I've been sitting for 13 years from the time I purchased it to the time it finally got finished. The only problem with waiting so long to finish a project is that the fabric is out of print, and sometimes the pattern is no longer available. Luckily, I didn't screw up the cutting to need more fabric, but it doesn't look like the pattern is in print anymore. Some of you have been asking for a pattern, but I can't find the link to it anymore. The pattern is called Whirl-A-Jig by Iowa Star Designs, but they don't appear to be in business anymore. You might be able to find a pattern on Etsy or eBay, but it might be a search. With my Whirl-A-Jig quilt finished, I was still in the mood for quilting, so on Friday I pulled another top off the pile. My choice was led by ease of quilting, and I went with the One Block Wonder. First, it already had the back sewn together. Second, I planned to do an all-over swirly feather meander, which I felt would be quick. And third, it was on top of the pile. I almost pulled this Rainbow Sweet Baby 9 patch, as it also had a back ready to go, but I wanted to do a little custom quilting on this cutie, so even though it was small, it came in second in regards to ease of quilting. So in the morning before work, I loaded my One Block Wonder on the frame. I cut out the batting and I laid it on the top. During my lunch break, I spent about 30 minutes quilting it, and then after I got off work, I finished the quilting. Since the print is busy on this One Block Wonder, I felt it would be hard to see custom quilting, so that's why I stuck to swirls and feathers and wavy lines. I spent about an hour and a half finishing the quilting and adding the binding, and by the end of Friday night, my blue Hydrangea One Block Wonder was finished. This quilt was almost 9 years in the making, from the date I purchased the fabric to the last binding stitch. I purchased the fabric in November of 2017. It was actually the 5th set of fabric I bought for making One Block Wonders, and it was my oldest One Block Wonder UFO. I cut into it in June of 2019, and I sewed on it off and on over the years, so I'm happy to say it is finally finished. It was shortly after I purchased this fabric that I discovered One Block Wonders made with panels. So my next oldest One Block Wonder waiting to be made is this forest scene with some bluebirds. I was tempted to pull out those panels and cut into them, but I decided to keep on with some of the tops in my quilting pile. But those had to wait until Sunday, as Saturday was another play day. The weather was so beautiful, my husband and I spent the day on the water again and playing on the beach. I have a short on my other channel that sums up our morning in 60 seconds, so if you're interested in seeing that, I'll put a link in the description below. Sunday, I was back in the sewing room, but only for a little bit. I pulled out my Rainbow Sweet Baby 9 patch and I got it on the frame. The backing was already picked out, so I pinned that on, but I needed to pick out the batting. I decided to make some Frankenbatting to use up my leftover batting scraps. A little bit ago, I had purchased some batting seam tape, and I used up the rest of that on these white batting pieces. I like the idea of batting seam tape, but it was a little expensive, and I don't feel like I got a lot of batting seams together with this one roll. I got one large seam together on another quilt, and then the 3 small seams on this quilt. So if you need to fuse a lot of seams together for one quilt, one roll of batting seam tape's not going to go very far. It might be more cost effective to use a lightweight fusible interfacing. You just have to cut it up yourself into smaller pieces. Once the batting was together, I put it and the quilt top on the frame, and then I left it like that until Monday. And on Monday, I finished the quilting in 3 sessions. I quilted a little in the morning before work, but I only got about 4 minutes of good quilting, because the first few minutes of my sewing, the tension was off, and I had to do some fiddling with the machine to get it right. After re-threading the top and the bobbin, I was ready to go, but that only left me with about 4 minutes to sew before I had to go to work. When I came back on my lunch break, I quilted some more. I did a little custom quilting on this one, doing some curves in the 9 patches, swirls in the sashing, and some meandering on the border. And I got almost done with the quilting when it was time to go back for work. I only needed about 5 more minutes to finish the last 9 patches and the corner sashing. But I finished it up as soon as I got home again, and I added the binding and I had another finish. This quilt was started in March of 2025 when I made several colorways for my Sweet Baby 9-patch tutorial. This is the last colorway in that series that needed to be quilted, so all of those are finally completed, and it sure feels good to have all those off the list. I was still in the mood for sewing, so I decided to pull another quilt top off the pile. I grabbed my frog version of my shifting chevron quilt, and while I was trying to find the perfect print for the backing, I came across this Easter egg fabric. So I swapped out my tops and I decided to work on the Easter version of my shifting chevrons instead. I paired the Easter eggs with 2 skinny purple strips and a dark pink center, and I had the back ready to go, and that's where I stopped on Monday night. Tuesday morning before work, I loaded on the frame and picked out 3 batting strips for it. I spent my lunch break fusing those together, and in the evening I quilted it up using a quick meander. A purple binding finished it off, and by the end of my UFO sewing on Tuesday, I had 1 more UFO knocked off the list. This one's one of my newest UFOs. The top was made in March of this year to show off different colorways for my shifting chevrons quilt tutorial. I'll put a link to that tutorial in the description below in case you're interested in making one for yourself. Even though this one wasn't on the UFO list for too long, it sure feels good to have it finished. By week 28, I'd knocked 4 quilts off the UFO list. Sometimes it's nice to take a break from some of the bigger projects or the ones that take a lot more time and focus on the ones that are almost finished, such as the ones that just needed some quilting. So far this year, I've knocked off 13 UFOs off my list. And since I started in 2025, I've finished a total of 20. But when I went to update my list, I still had 55 on my list. That's only 4 down from when I started in 2025. So even though I have a lot of finishes, my list hasn't gone down much at all. But when I look back on it, I can see why my list grew just a little bit. First, I found 2 UFOs that weren't on the list originally, like my Wonky Hearts quilt. Second, I added a lot of quilt tops from my tutorials, when I made different colorways, but I didn't have time to quilt them up. And finally, I bought 2 quilt kits in the past 2 years. I know some of you don't count kits as UFOs, but I like to add those to my list, as the fabric's already picked out and the pattern's already picked out, and sometimes picking the fabric is the hardest part of starting a project. So that's why my list has grown just a little bit. And out of the 20 I have finished, 10 of them were the original UFOs on my list, and 10 were some that I'd added in 2025 and 2026. So looking back at my list, I still have 6 UFOs that I need to finish that were started in 2025 and 2026. 4 of those are the quilt tops that I made for some of my video tutorials. So I may work on quilting again this week, but then again I've already done a lot of quilting and I might be in the mood to piece. So I'm really not sure which UFOs I want to work on. I may just go back to using the number generator to help pick my next UFO. There's just so many to choose from, and I don't know which one I want to work on next. So come back next week and see which one I actually pick, and see if I get another finish or not. Thanks so much for following along, and until next time, happy sewing.